Next heat of the match
8 young champions compete in one-on-one motos during preliminary races, eliminating 4 riders before the finals.
But it's Johnny Harris, who is national 14-year champion, moves up to the 15-year group and doing it well here as he leads the Victorian visitor Dean Yeo for Skyways out of the turn. They both get on the brakes and now work away at the back straight away over the jumps. Harris still pedals over them. Now it's Yeo who starts to make up a lot of ground on this part of the track, trying to find room around the outside. Now switches back here on the inside as they come up to the finishing straight, and it's Johnny Harris for CW Racing who leads Dean Yeo of Victoria for Factory Skyways. Here comes Yeo to the finishing line, but Harris just gets there. Now it's Adams who looks again for an inside pass as they head down to the CRC switchback. That'll put them in pretty good shape for the finishing straight. Here they come now with Matthew Weeks of Factory Mongoose, Paul Adams of Diamondback Racing Team, and the win goes to the Queenslander on number 47.
2 15-year-olds as they go down the main straight away over the Macintosh Mound. Head to the last hump now towards the S's, and it's still Weeks comfortably out in the lead. Watch this Albright finish. And Michael Baker. And a good start. Both the boys lift the wheels and up over the first jump together. But Baker, I think, has got the power on first. And down the back, Matthew Weeks now putting the pressure on into the second berm. But it continues to be Michael Baker. Weeks now up the inside. Big move going to go here. He's going high. Pulls it low. Can't quite do it. Decided to power around the outside. Up over the camel jump. And Weeks literally flew over there. Coming into the last turn now towards the S's. And Baker keeping it high, just shuts Weeks out as he heads now towards the mountain. But it continues to be Michael Baker. Weeks, can he finish from here? Plenty of air, really put the powers on over the speed jump. And Baker's hanging on, and whoa. Gee, well, that was very, very close. But Baker first, and Weeks just nudged away at the line.
Parklands BMX track was only a vacant field next to a nursery school 2 years ago. With a bit of council help, parents and children volunteered time and energy to create the track. Because the bikes are non-polluting and quiet, neighbours who boarded this track don't seem to mind the weekly bike meets.
There was a need at the time for a track in this area, and this is the one that came available, and the men and families that were behind the sport, and they've given selflessly of their time.
A couple of loads of dirt arrived. All the kids arrived with their spades and the wheelbarrows and started lugging it all around the paddock. And from there it just grew.
Today, 8 senior girl riders have been invited to race for a pro purse of $125. Girls hold their own on the track, although rarely are boys pitted against girls in competition. Opinion around the track varies on who makes the better racers.
They're practically the same. Boys don't take up as much time as girls.
Girls. Why? Oh, they're not as rough.
Boys.
Girls. Why? Oh, we don't ride dirty, or most of the boys don't, but I know. We got just as much skill as the boys.
This preliminary race features number 77 Debbie Bonshore of Newcastle, who has some tough competition ahead today. Lisa Eric is rated number 3 in New South Wales and carries that number on her plate. The number 1 female BMX rider in Queensland is Melita Downey of Brisbane, and the number 1 rated female Australian rider Christine Toomey wears the black and gold colours of Apollo. Also competing are number 25 Angela Paslow, racing for Redline. She has 3 brothers racing in today's meet. Number 10 Kelly Coles is from Blacktown. Leanne Casper also represents Redline and is the second-rated female BMX racer in Australia. Diamondback sponsors number 3Q, Leanne Reese.
But the 2 Redline riders now go to the camel jump in front is Leanne Casper, 2 Australia. Angela Paslow, a lot better ride from her this time.
Off and racing now as we get them away smartly indeed, heading down into the first corner. Melita Downey heading out of here. Angela Paslow in second place. Leanne Reese is the next one through. And Debbie Bonshore. Okay. Angela Paslow putting a bit of the pressure on our Queensland visitor as they head down. Leanne Reese, who came down a little earlier today, she's back up and still holding third at this stage. Okay, through the CRC turn and heading on towards the finish of the race. Our Queensland girl's about to be tackled here, is she? No, she's not. She's doing it nicely. Angela Paslow decides for a lane change. That's the way to finish, and, oh, that was pretty close. Leave it to the judge.
Right, second moto now of our girls. Pro girls, and it's Chris Toomey leading. Oh, a little bit sideways there, Leanne Casper, and it just all we needed for Melita Downey to come up the inside. She cranks up the main straight away. Paslow now, and Cole's going hard at the back. But Toomey now getting a little bit squirrely in that top corner, puts the pressure on, and the two red line girls decided to stop and have a chat. So we go back to our race leaders, and it's a girl from Apollo. Out there in front comfortably, Melita Downey in second place, and the two red line girls back there in 3 and 4, and have fight it out all the way to the finish. But national #1 senior girl, Chris Toomey, was there ever any doubt she was going to win this? And she comes on to be first.
Most sports, it's either girl-oriented or it's boy-oriented. In this sport, you can bring all your kids along and it doesn't matter how old they are. Like if you're going to football or something, you might have one kid playing in one area and someone playing somewhere else, where with this sport, the whole family can participate. I mean, on a social day, you might have dad's races, mum's races, which they often do here. So it's a sport that the whole family can participate in if they want to.
You can very easily get involved in helping out, and mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers, they can all get into it. It's really something we can do as a family.
Yeah, it's usually a family affair sort of thing. You know, they have a big brother and their little one helps him and coaches him along. I've got a little brother that races and I coach him along.
Late in the day, after many motos, excitement is running high as 4 finalists have emerged from each age group.